Welcome. This is your 15-minute hip routine. You're going to be using the wall in this routine, and you're going to want to get something to use as knee protection for the floor. Coming over to the wall, we're going to start facing sideways to the wall with one hand pressed against and the feet just slightly wider than the hips. From here, place the other hand on the hips and just begin to circle the hips around. Any direction you're trying to make big hip circles, just about 4 in either direction. Let's take it to the other side. Good, just trying to press the hips as far forward and sideways as possible in each circle. Go for one more rep and relax. From here, we're going to take the outside hand, reach it up and over, reaching towards the wall. As I do this, I'm pressing gently so that my hips fall out to the side for 3, 2, and 1. Coming up, we're going to take that round to the other side. So starting with those feet just a little bit wider than the hips, hand onto the hip and circling around. Again, trying to push the hips as far forward as possible in each rotation. Keeping everything nice and relaxed. Let's change the direction. Last 2. Last 1. And relax. From there, the outside arm is coming up and over, reaching towards the wall. The inside arm is pushing against the wall. Hips are falling out to the side as much as possible for 3, 2, and 1. Coming up. Fantastic. We're now going to kneel facing the wall. So you're going to want to grab whatever you're using for your knee protection and place it about 1.5 feet away from the wall. You can adjust this at any point. You are kneeling with both knees down, facing the wall. You're going to press the hands against the wall and keep the toes tucked. From here, you're going to drop the bum back onto the heels, lifting the hips and pressing those hips towards the wall as much as you can. In this moment, you are engaged through the glutes. You are pushing through the arms as well to give you a little bit of feedback and then releasing back down. So coming up, pressing the hips towards the wall, engaging through the glutes, opening up through the chest. The arms are here to support and down. We've got 2 more like that. Pressing up, really pausing for a second. We're engaging through the backs of the legs to help open up the front of the hip and down. And last time, we're lifting up. We're pressing the hips towards the wall. Spine is nice and tall. Our arms are supporting the chest for 3, 2, and 1. Relaxing that down. From here, we're going to come into a single lunge, still facing the wall. So what you may need to do is just maneuver yourself slightly further away, keeping one knee down on the floor and stepping the other foot forward. You want to make sure that there's enough space for your knee to move, okay? So you're not too cramped up against the wall. Hands are in front of you. From here, I'm thinking about tucking that tailbone gently underneath me, lifting up through the lower abdominals, and then pressing the hips forward into the wall. You'll see my front knee will travel towards the wall, but I'm keeping the arms straight. So that's preventing me from sort of collapsing into the wall. I'm holding this position for 3, 2, and 1. I'm going to release away from it. You can drop the arms for a second, let the tailbone untuck, just relax. And then we're going to reset up. We are tucking that tailbone. We want to be square to the wall. Hands find the wall. From here, I'm pressing this area, the front of this hip, all the way forward, keeping the chest open. Lower abdominals are lifted. We are holding this here for another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gently coming out of that, we're going to change it round. So just relax for a second. Although the arms are doing some work, we don't want any unnecessary tension into the upper body, so make sure to let that all release when you can. Setting up for the other side. Adjusting yourself, getting comfortable, thinking about being square to the wall. We're going to tuck that tailbone underneath us, lifting through the lower abdominals. Hands come onto the wall, and then we press the pelvis towards the wall, keeping those arms straight so that the chest is lifted. Settling into this for another 4, 3, 2, and 1. Releasing. When you release, you can release that pelvis completely. Just give everything a moment to relax. And we're gonna set up again. So stacking the pelvis on top of the knee, tucking the tailbone underneath, lifting through the lower abdominals, placing those hands, and when you're ready, pressing forward. We're really activated through the back of the underneath leg, pressing into the stretch, keeping the arms nice and activated. Chest is lifted. We're here for a final 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gently coming out of that. You're going to stand up. You can keep the feet nice and wide, both hands onto the wall, and just pressing back into an A-frame stretch, allowing the hamstrings a moment to open. Chest is just falling through the arms as much as possible. Everything gets a little bit of a reset in this position for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly coming up. From there, we're going to be facing sideways. So readjust your knee cushion or protection a little bit closer to the wall, and we're going to find our proposal knee stance. So one knee down, one knee forward. We've got our inside knee closest to the wall, down first. From here, similar pelvic position that we had facing the wall. So we're going to tuck that tailbone away, lift up through the lower abdominals, okay? We're then going to press everything forward into that front leg. Pause for a second. Come back to the beginning so that we can lift this leg, place it to the side, keeping that tailbone tucked, pressing out to the side, away from the wall, opening up the hips, and then coming back into the center. You want to really recover that weight so that there's no weight on this leg so that we can move it easily. Alrighty, tucking the tailbone, pressing forward. You want to try and keep this front heel pressed into the floor. Coming back, maneuver that foot, pressing into the side. We've got just one more of these to do in either direction. Stepping forward, tucking the tailbone, pressing forward. You have the wall here for your balance support, okay? Use it as much as you need to. We're here for a little bit longer this time. Let's hold it for 3, 2, 1. Coming up, changing that leg over, tucking the tailbone, big lift through the spine. This is going to take you away from the wall. So feel free to let this arm drop if you're feeling stable. But our focus here is opening up the hips. So use the balance as much as you need to. 3, 2, and 1, coming all the way in. Fantastic. From there, you're going to move your cushion all the way against the wall. And you're going to sit down onto your bum, onto your cushion, with your back against the wall. Now, you can decide to either be right up against the wall, which is going to give you a really straight spine, or you can be slightly further away and be in a slightly more relaxed position. From here, we're going to extend one leg out, okay, and hug the other knee in. I'm focused on really just holding my body stable with my arms on this bent leg, and this leg is going to straighten and activate as much as possible. All we're really trying to do here is activate this leg, and we want to imagine that we activate it so much that it comes off the floor just a little bit. If it's not coming off the floor, that's totally fine, as long as it is activating as much as possible. Relax it completely when it hits the floor. We go again, activating and hopefully floating off the wall, off the floor, and coming back down. Now, at this point, you might be using the wall a little bit more than me. That's totally fine. If you feel like you can keep your spine straight and find that lift in the leg, then that's great. And relax. We've got one more to do on this side. Growing up nice and tall, activating through that leg, lengthening it away from you as it lifts up into the air and relaxes down. Okay, let everything just relax for a couple seconds. We're going to swap that over. Very likely that each leg feels completely different, so just work with what you've got. Those hands are gripped. You're trying to keep the chest up. However, you could be just leaning and using that wall. Okay, we are activating this extended leg as much as possible, so much so that it might just lift off the floor and down. You've got anything between 3 to 5 repetitions of this. Activating and lift and down. Remember to relax completely in between the repetitions. Activating that leg and float and down. We've got one more to do all together. Finding the activation, finding the length, lifting it up, and relaxing completely. Take a second to let everything release. You might want to just let the hips find some rotation. And when you're ready, we're going to set up facing the opposite direction for our proposal knee sequence. So I'm going to move my mat a little bit away from the wall. I'm going to set myself up. Inside knee is down, outside foot is forward. Take a second here. We're going to tuck that tailbone away, lift up through the lower abdominals, and then press forwards into the stretch. Pausing for a few seconds, coming back into center so that this leg is free to move to the side, tucking that tailbone, and pressing out towards that leg. Coming back in, changing the leg, and forward. Really being aware of the lower abdominals lifting and helping you come back to center, stabilizing you as the leg comes out to the side, and then helping you out with your balance in this one, because it will take you away from the wall, so you might feel a little bit more unstable. We've got one more to do in either direction, tucking that tailbone, pressing forward, holding it here for a few seconds. Do a little check. Is the rest of the body completely relaxed? Am I holding any tension in my face, in my neck? If you are, release it. Coming back, tucking that tailbone before we slide over to the side, opening up those hips. Holding it here for 3, 2, and 1. Coming back into the center, recovering that foot, and standing up. Okay, from here you're just going to move that knee pillow out of the way so that you have the floor space. Okay, we're going to stand with our backs against the wall. Feet are a little bit further away from the wall. You want to think about 1/2 meter away. And you're going to let your tailbone sit down and find the wall. Once the tailbone's on the wall, get your whole back into the wall. And we're in a half range wall sit, okay? You don't want to be too low. You want to get into it comfortably. Know that you can get out of it comfortably, okay? We're sitting here for a few more seconds. We're thinking about the footprint of either foot, pushing evenly down into the floor, and the tailbone and the spine pushing back into the wall. We're holding this here. We're breathing for 5, 4, 3. When you're ready to get out, you're going to lean the body forward. Tailbone stays against the wall. Hands into the wall, and then stand up. Shake out the legs. We're now going to press the tailbone into the wall. We're closer to the wall. We're standing up this time. I'm going to take my right hand out to the side, and I'm going to lift my right leg up, hold it with the left hand, and just ever so gently pull it across the body. We're doing a standing cross stretch. Just for 3, 2, and 1. Placing that down. We're going to go for the other side. Hand out to the side. Left knee in, right hand grabs it, pulls it across the body. Breathing here for 3, 2, and 1. Releasing it down, stepping away from the wall. And that is your 15-minute hip routine at the wall. Well done.